Hi everyone, happy Thursday. Sorry if it sounds like I'm in a tunnel. I'm not quite sure what to do about that. I wanted to go over with you today's plan so there would be no confusion when I'm out at my training. If you are confused by my video, I also put the directions on the board. So, to begin, excuse me, please take out your pink Holocaust packet, your green ongoing conversation packet, and your green nature nurture doc from this press. If you want to pause the video to make sure you have all three things out, that would be great. If you need to open the nature nurture doc from Ms. Press on her Canvas page, please feel free to do so now. Once you have all of the documents out, I want to begin today with a little reminder from last class. Take a look at your answers to questions 8 and 9 on page 2 of the Holocaust packet. Those questions had to do with what you were surprised by in the video. And I want you to think one more time. You don't need to write anything down. It says jot in your notebooks, but it's okay. Do you think Nazis are inherently evil? Why or why not? And if you want a challenge, try to take on the nature side. And again, Ms. Press's document can always help you if you are confused about the nature nurture arguments. I'm going to pause this for a second to show you what that document looks like. Here is the document. It's green. This will help you with your reading, which I will explain in a few minutes. You could also refer to her PowerPoint or her slideshow here if you need further assistance. Okay, so let me go through the plan for today. We did the do now. You're going to do independent readings, ongoing conversations. You can then take a short break right outside. And then you're going to go into watching a video on bystanders, answer the questions, and you're going to do a reading and answer the questions. I do not think we will have time for the second ongoing conversation. Also, a reminder, if I don't have your rough draft, please turn it in by Friday at 8:30 a.m. That is the last possible opportunity for Ms. Press and myself to give you feedback. 8:30 a.m. on Friday. So, this is the most important part that I need to explain to you. The readings will start on page 3. If you are in AS, you will do all 4 readings. If you're in CP, you will do 3. You are looking for evidence that specifically connects to violence. Pages 3 through 10, I will be checking on Monday. So the more that you focus now, the better off you will be over the weekend. Meaning if you get pages 3 through 10 done, you will not have homework. All right? After you read, you're going to practice explaining your answers to your classmates. This is important because the more you practice explaining your ideas out, the more prepared you will be for our structured academic controversy in 2 weeks. Remember, that's like a mini Socratic, where you will be practicing explaining your ideas, whether or not Nazis were born violent or nurtured into being violent, and listening to the opposing side's ideas. So that is our plan. That's the overview of the plan. So I'm going to pause here and I'm going to show you how I would like you to annotate this. So for example, this is the first reading. You're going to look through this with the sole purpose of finding anything that has to do with violence. So let me read it for you. Participation in cold-blooded mass murder of human beings required a suspension or a break of moral inhibitions or your morality, or things that keep you from being immoral, which would normally have prevented civilized people from carrying out such atrocities. The ground had been prepared, so like that foundation was there, for the dehumanization of the Jews through Nazi propaganda and legislation, and a campaign which would exploit or take advantage of the hatred of Jewish people. This was for large sections of the German population. So we could pretend I'm doing this in front of you, but I'm going to put a comment here and I'm going to say, okay, people, so here's my paraphrase. People, you can feel free to write this on your doc, were surrounded by propaganda that hated Jewish people. So right away I'm thinking, is this nature or nurture? I think it's nurture, but I'm not sure why. So let me go refer to Miss Press's document here. And I think if this is nurture, I'm going to connect this to the environment, the environmental arguments, that people are influenced by their environment. If I don't have the sheet or if I don't remember, I can make sure I can go look on Miss Press's slides about the environment. That places, people, things can bring out the good or bring out the bad. So that's the environmental argument. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to adjust my annotation to say nurture, which equals the environmental argument. That's it. Now, I wanted to model for you which one could be interpreted as nature. Again, a lot of these can be interpreted either way. I will do this one. The low-ranking SS men, those were the soldiers, the Nazi soldiers, on the other hand, were quickly corrupted by giving the power of life and death over people who they were officially regarded as subhuman. So, first things first, I'm going to do a paraphrase. Nazi soldiers were corrupted because now they could make the decision about whether the Jewish people lived or died. And again, I used a little bit of schema there because I know that they were referring to the Jewish people in the camps. And these low-ranking officials had that opportunity. I think this could be nature, but I need to double check what argument it could be. So again, I'm going to go back to Ms. Press's document, and I see here that this one maybe has to do with the, I'm going to go back here, actually, my fault. The naturist environment argument, that all humans have the capacity or tendency for violence, and the right environmental influences will help control or hold back these tendencies. The way that we've described it in the past is like a soda bottle or a volcano. The volcano lays dormant, it's okay. But when you have factors or influences that could help you bring out your inner fire, your inner tendencies, then you explode. So the argument here would be nature environmental, how does Ms. Press call it? Naturist environment. The soldiers were born with violent capacities, and all they needed was the excuse to let them out. Or if we want to stick with the volcano metaphor, the excuse for the fire to explode. So that is the nature argument. And again, I hope that's not too confusing, but the idea behind this is that people are born with violent tendencies, and sometimes positive influences can keep those violent tendencies in check. Sometimes with the negative influences, like for example, Nazi propaganda or Hitler, can allow those violent tendencies to explode. Hopefully that's helpful. So that's what you're doing for the articles. Then my suggestion is to choose one of the pieces of evidence that you chose, that you paraphrase, and you're going to practice again your say, mean, matter. And again, this is all going to be helpful and all in preparation for that structured academic controversy. All right, I'll pause there, maybe take a moment, maybe re-listen to a few things, and then I'll go on to the next part of class. After you finish reading either 3 or 4 of the documents and filling out the chart, I would like you to start doing the ongoing conversations to practice speaking out loud your ideas. All you're doing is reading through one row of your readings. It can be from document 1, document 2, document 3, and then you're going to practice sharing it out with your buddy. Your buddy is going to grade you. Is your voice clear and audible? They can give you an exceeding. Did you explain the content in a sophisticated way that shows a strong understanding? Maybe you were close but not quite there yet. So maybe it shows you have a solid understanding. Maybe they give you a meeting. Did you provide textual evidence? Okay. Was that textual evidence interesting? Did it move the conversation forward? That would be an exceeding. Your goal is to speak for over 1 minute. And then your buddy is going to give you one piece of feedback that you did really well on. If you think you need to talk a little louder or find better evidence, that's something to consider for the next time. So that's that. After you do the ongoing conversations, why don't you go take a few minutes outside and recalibrate for the next part of class. There we go. Finally, we are going to look at being able to explain what influences people's behavior during challenging times. So this, let me actually show you in the packet because I think it'll be easier. If you go down here after you do ongoing conversations, you're going to watch this video. It's linked here. You just have to go to it on your campus page, on your internet, and answer the questions. Once you're done that, you're going to watch the beginning to 3:14 and then skip ahead to 6:21 to the end. You don't need to watch the whole thing. Once that is done, you should choose one of these readings, okay? Choose anyone from 1 to 10 and answer the questions. That's all you need to do. If you don't get to this during class, that is okay. The most important thing is that you finish pages 1 through 10 for homework. Okay, I hope this is okay and not too confusing. If you have any questions, I will be working all day, so please feel free to send me an email on campus. All right, have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.